I love their little intro shots taken right from that video. The video is really, really cool. Kind of showed that to everybody. But looks like we're going to be spawning in here to Shattered Temple.
For sure. So we do see it is Knighter. He will be our yellow Protoss in the top, or yeah, left. I guess it's not really top, but anyhow, it is top compared to other spawn Zerg. But yeah, so we do have our Protoss up in the left here, and then in the bottom left we have CV, which will be our blue Zerg player.
Spawning close air. CV, I was told, is a ZVZ sniper, but will not be able to utilize that this game. Sending out his Overlord. Now, if he scouts a little too... If he... that's funny. Sending out that Overlord there, if he scouts too far in, our Protoss player Knighter is going to be able to know exactly where he spawned. Although, since the changes on this map, looks like he's going for an FFE, since the changes on this map in the latter version, it's now the same as MLG. You can't actually spawn closer. There's only 2 locations to check anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like the Forge Fast Expand out of our Protoss player here. Well, to be honest with you, I just love watching Forge Fast Expand regardless, just because I do play Protoss myself, and I love seeing creative building placement. Because building placement in a Forge Fast Expand, like I was saying last game, is everything. Because if you misplace one building, he can sneak this by there, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just very, very tactical.
SimCity is huge for FFE, and you were saying the reasons why you like FFE. One of the biggest reasons why I like FFE is because it forces it into generally a longer game. Of course, there's ways around that with Roach, Ling, all-ins, things like that, 1 base, 2 base, but generally it pushes the game into a longer macro-style game, which is generally always more fun to watch. Seeing the quick, aggressive games are fun, but the big macro game, when you get big 200 engagements, and resupplying back to that 200, that's what everyone loves to watch. And a big shout out to all our viewing parties. We've got one at UBC. I think we've got 2 in Alberta, 1 at U of A, and then there's another one I was told about. Thanks for you guys for tuning in and supporting your place. And we're going to see who's the best in Western Canada.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm really stoked about the rest of these games. Like, I've been told that we're going to do all 11 regardless of who wins the first, well, I guess it'd be 6, but yeah, I'm excited to see what our Protoss player does after this Forge Fast Expand. That's when you start varying your build a little bit. Like, you can go Forge and then Nexus, that kind of thing. Like, there is going to be a variation in that starting build, but usually the variety to the build comes a little bit afterwards. Like, you can get the +1 with the Zealots, that kind of thing, or you can go fast into Stargates. There's tons of options you can go for.
Knighter not able to do the same sort of harassment we saw last game with that probe. The Lings were there that made that probe scoot away and kind of get out of there. He was able to see the timing, which is important, but he's actually supply block now. He's got a pylon about halfway done. Gate waste coming in. I would love to see even a single Stargate go down. I'm not sure if we'll see it, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, no, Stargate play, especially a 2 Stargate play, is pretty intense. It's pretty micro-intensive, but if they don't go for any anti-air, if he's short on queens, anything like that, and you just show up in his base with Void Rays, he can be in a lot of trouble. So I'm wondering what we're going to see out of the Zerg player here. It does look like he's droning pretty hard right now, and he does have that Overlord scouting for his, well, I would say the natural of the other opposite base to him. So I'm wondering if he's going to expand there, but minutes going by, I believe that the timing for that third is slipping away.
Look how much damage those Lings did to the pylon. They actually almost killed it. That was super, super close and really interesting to see. Now, I hope we see a third base in this game. That would be pretty cool to see. I think there is a drone right there, and it goes down. There we go. We're seeing a third base kind of off position, which is kind of cool. He could have killed those rocks with the Lings. It would have taken a while. There's also rocks at the gold base, but instead taking that one kind of off to the side, and he's going to have to secure a bit of map control to make sure he gets what he wants out of that third base.
You know, we do see the first Zealot just trying to push up and, you know, make some more Zerglings, and that's exactly what's coming out from CV. It's forcing him to come out with 4 Lings, and that's just Lings that could have been drones, essentially, and that's exactly what you want to do in this position. Just force a little bit of pressure. There's actually almost nothing to greet other than these 4 Lings, so actually there's a 5th there with about half HP, but yeah, he's just going to run in and see exactly what's going on. He's not going to do any damage with it, because if you turn around and fought, you just get surrounded like what just happened there, but he's going to try and sneak in a pylon, but no dice. CV is all over that.
Yeah, he tried to do a little bit of a ninja move there, had to cancel it, only losing 25 minerals, so not really much of a loss. But I do not think Knighter knows about this third base. How long that third base goes unnoticed is really going to be huge. Yeah, he doesn't see it. And so it's really going to be, this match could really be dependent on how long that third gets out of there. The layer actually being made at the natural. What do you think about that, Spro?
I think he's just trying to hide it a little bit. Well, barring that he gets no observer early, it doesn't really make a difference. But if he does get an observer early and he just scouts the main and that's it, then he's like, oh, there's no lair. I'm not in a... Like, he's not worried about any lair tech, right? And yeah, I am a little surprised that he didn't scout that third either, because usually when I play this, these guys are way better than me, obviously, but I usually try and hide a probe just so I can scout where I would think he'd probably plant that third. Just because if you know he's going for that fast third, it's really easy to put on some early pressure.
Exactly. We see a Roach Warren halfway done. Layers about 3/4 of the way done. Protoss upgrades coming out. Warp Gates on its way. +1 weapons on its way as well. We see a Spine Crawler going down. So good preemptive defense right now as some drones are running across the map, transferring to that third base. And the production tab's really where you want to keep your eyes right now. The creep spread, we're only at 8.5 minutes. Creep spread is pretty darn good. It is emerging out past the front of the main base. And I'm not sure if he's going to try to connect the third right away or if he's actually just going to push towards the Protoss base. But tons of gates being thrown down right now. He's going to go for a huge gateway attack. It's got to be, right, Protoss? I mean, it's Sprawl?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think this is the build MC was just doing the other day in GSL, just 8 gate and just drive in and kill, essentially, is what you're going for. And I love his pylon placement here. He can warp all over the low ground, and spawning close air, it is really easy to have pylons that are not vulnerable at all, but you just have a really good position that you can warp into. So I would expect some pressure coming on really quick here. All those gates turning into warp gates, right, as I say that.
Look at that Warp Gate flower right there. So many of them warping in tons of units, tons of sentries. We have a huge amount of sentries, but he's actually floating 1k minerals right now. Force field's going down, but sentries don't do a lot of damage. I'm wondering if he went a little too sentry heavy. We're going to have to watch the production tab to see what other units he starts warping in.
Yeah, no, he is going to bulk up this army a little bit more, but I didn't agree with cv's decision there to pull his lings back. I don't think they were in a very bad position, considering there was only, I believe, 2 zealots, and that was it. So, do they have +2 weapons or +1?
I believe they have +1, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, he's going to run out here. Ooh, decent force fields, but those lings are getting in and attacking all those stalkers and sentries, and I don't think he's going to be able to keep this army for that long.
Even if cvee doesn't hold right now, I think his reinforcing units will do a really good job. And yeah, he's actually forcing the Protoss to back up. He's producing 14 lings, 4 roaches right now. A bunch of zealot reinforcements running in here, forcing the roaches back onto creep, but that's where they're the strongest. That's where they can shoot and scoot the best. And I do think cvee's going to hold right now. If you look at the supply, that could really be a telltale sign of what's going on in this game.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a difficult position for Knighter to be in, because he doesn't know if he wants to warp in a round of Stalkers or a round of Zealots there. The reason he just got that huge round of Zealots is because he just went pure Ling again when his reinforcements, and wow, right as I'm saying that, he is just getting sandwiched right now, and I don't see this Protoss holding. Burrow is out, so that's very irritating if you don't have a robotics facility. They can just basically burrow right underneath you, and then as soon as you walk over, or something to that effect, just bam, Roach landmine.
Roaches heal so quickly as well when they're burrowed, just extremely fast. You can watch that health rapidly go up. I'm not sure what heals faster. Wow, so close, getting just one-shotting these Stalkers right now. That Stalker didn't get the memo, going down to maybe 1 HP there, but these Roaches are just overpowering these Stalkers. A bunch of Zealots being warped in, but it really looks like cv's taking a commanding lead in this game and burrowing as soon as he feels even slightly stressed.
Oh, exactly, and then being the Protoss, he just runs past them. Yeah, exactly. GG, well played. He needed to win with that 8-gate, and the further he went along, the 3 base of the Zerg player, he was just economically ahead, and he was just going to win if that went any longer. So,
I love seeing the well played, and it looks like Alberta is got a point now, so they're on the board. It is 2-1, so they are definitely in this. It is very close. Coming up next game, we've got FX Optic Zero in a PvP versus, I'm going to butcher this, Noctis?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And yeah, Optic Zero is a guy I love to watch playing. He was just, what tournament was that? The last CG one. He just won that. And CG 5. That was an incredible tournament with him, and Kwai Rice came out, and it was just
ranged.
Great, yeah, exactly. Like all those great players, and yeah, Optic Zero kind of ran away with it a little bit and got that epic like 2 or 3 grand gaming computer.
Yeah, I think it was around
I wonder
3
what he
grand.
did with that, because yeah, that thing was a beast of a machine. And I think he already had a computer, so I wouldn't doubt that went up on Craigslist or something like that. But that's exactly what I would do, so I don't blame him in the least.
We're going to get the next game set up. We'll be right back with game number 4.